Steve-O,
Yo.
Big Q, what it do?
What is up, Kev?
Hey man, it's been a minute. We just gonna talk about all the teams over the last week or so. It's been a bunch of different things that have happened, so we gonna touch on it, of course, right after the intro. All right, good morning, Chicago sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Chi-Town Sports Central. It's your boy Big Kev. We got Q in the building. We got Steve-O in the building. How you boys been feeling, man? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yep. Counting down my last few days of being off, but I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Doing good.
Busy for me, man. I've
Doing
been working.
good.
I work in the travel industry, so this schedule been all flipped around, and people coming in and out of the planet, out of the city, spending time with their family and stuff. It's been lit though. It's been lit. Let's start with the Bears, man. Like they finally down. It's a mercy killing right now for the Bears. They down to their last game of the season. Uh, there's nothing on the line for the Green Bay Packers. They're already in the playoffs. The Bears have been eliminated for weeks now. And now they're just going into Lambeau Field to try to just, get I don't know what, go out with a bang, try to get a win in this losing streak, this 10-game losing streak. But what I'm hearing is that Steve, I'm not sure if you've heard this, but I'm hearing that Ben Johnson is lobbying to have Ryan Poles fired. I had the article. I think I just lost it. Give me a second.
There has been rumblings of that. And for him to, if it is true, for him to say that it's not completely out the realm of being crazy because um as we all know, Ron Post has one more year on his deal. And for the most part, a lot of people are saying if we ain't gonna keep them up, like, we gotta resign them, or we gotta. I mean, if we're going to keep them up, we're gonna have to resign them and re up his contract, just so everybody in that's coming in next year is gonna feel like, okay, I'm not playing for nothing, or this completely can be gutted out the next year versus what's going on now. If I'm Ben Johnson and I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna be a part of this Bears organization, and everything I'm hearing about what Post has done and hasn't done, I'm probably lobbying him too, because technically that's the way you want it to be. You want the GM to be aligned up with the president. You want the president to be lined up with the GM, and you want the GM on the same contract as the new head coach. So me, I'm kind of on that thing anyway, not because of just I'm just completely done with polls. It's just I don't trust them to make a new staff. And I know, well, the coaches make the staff. Well, I don't trust him with making the coach because he had the opportunity to fire the coach that he had, and he doubled down on them. Now he looking stupid. Now we hear articles talking about, oh, well, I kind of found some things that could have been problems back at training camp. So why 6 months doing them 6 months you couldn't change anything?
Yeah, yeah. It's been a rough stretch for Ryan Poles lately. He came into the season with all the favor, all the grace. After Hard Knocks, people were very excited about the Chicago Bears. I think what damns him the most is the fact that he said this is the best offensive line room that I've seen since I've been the GM here.
And they the second cheapest in the league.
And it's a lot of fifth round, sixth round, seventh round picks on that offensive line. So Q, man, how you feel about Ben Johnson is the prohibitive favorite to be the next Bears head coach, but his team is making it known that if he comes, they don't want Ryan Poles to be there as the general manager.
I mean, I feel good about it. He wants to come here. Like, how often does Chicago get people who say they actually want to be here and make a difference? So, I mean, if the Bears organization wants Ben Johnson, they know he's going to be good for us. I mean, hey, you saw Poe's look in that interview. He looked like he was going to get fired at some point. This is it's like he was over there looking like, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to do it. Just don't whoop
And
me.
he looked like he was in trouble.
Yes, I
I
mean, he knows
see
his
the
job's
grown man side eye the floor so many times.
but when your president has to step in and be like, "Look, I'm taking this interview right now."
hmm
Like we don't, you'll get to him when you get to him, but I got to talk right now. I'm taking a more advanced step in this team. That says a lot about your leadership. So, I mean, hey, he did his job. He turned the Bears, you know, around a little bit with getting us some talent, getting us a big change. It just might be time for somebody else to come in and finish the job. That happens. That's business.
Hey,
But I'm happy that Ben is outwardly saying, if this is true, I want to go to Chicago. This is just what I want from it. If I come there, this is what I expect. And we've been saying we want a coach who does not look at the front office and just agree.
yeah,
This is the first step to that.
yeah, and it's the Chicago Bears need a coach that's going to come in and put his stamp on the organization immediately. It doesn't. It can't be. Oh, we got to take a 2 or 3 years to get things in order. No, they got to come in with a win now mentality, like Kevin McConnell did for Minnesota, like the rest of these young coaches that came into the different situations in St. Louis and San Francisco, Miami, so on and so forth. They come in with win now mentalities. We can't have a coach that's coming in saying it's going to take a little while for us to get things in order. If Ryan Poles got to go, he got to go. That's just it. You got to get up out of there. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. We down to the last game of the season, and as Bears fans, it's been psychologically jarring to watch this team this year. They actually sapped the joy out of football for me. I didn't watch football for like 2 or 3 weeks. I watched football for the first time this weekend, and frankly, it's really because the Bears didn't play on yesterday. So I watched a little bit more than I normally would have. But that's what it was for me, man. After watching them fall precipitously from grace the way that they did, it was it just made football no fun. Just as a whole, the NFL was no fun just because of the Bears. So hopefully that didn't happen to everybody else, but it is what it is. All right, so y'all already know what it is. Hit us up at Chicago Bears Central if you want to hear anything else from Hayes over there, Steve O, and I mean not Steve O. Well, Steve O and myself come in with the live games, but Bobby and C Dub definitely hold it down for mailbags as well. And of course, even after the season, you will get daily Chicago Bears coverage, the only true Chicago Bears daily coverage channel on YouTube. So it's definitely going to be lit. And then, of course, hit up, Hayes. All right, so moving on to the Chicago Bulls.
And he got stopped. Oh, there you
So,
go. There, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
back.
You,
All
yeah,
right,
you got it.
moving on to the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, uh, they are just the most up and down, inconsistent thing we got going right now, man. They'll beat the Boston Celtics one night and lose to the Washington Wizards the next.
And then
They
lose
still
to Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, man, they just
Mhm.
beat the Milwaukee Bucks, albeit they did not have Giannis out there. But it was a fun game to watch. But we know what this team identity is now. They're a team that relies on threes, pacing threes. They're gonna live by the three and die by the three. And fortunately enough for them,
They've been
th-
dying a lot.
but they've also been living more than what the pundits had. They had them at what 28 and a half games. They're definitely gonna win that
30.
unless they trade Vooch or Zach and try to completely tank for one of these young guys out of college. But at the end of the day, the Chicago Bulls are they what we said coming into the season. They're fun bad. Like you see Zach like the Atlanta game because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Is exactly what the Chicago Bulls are. Like they had a third quarter where they put up 40 some points. Zach had 20 some points in that quarter. They every catfish came in and dominated, hit 6 threes in one quarter, and then they get into the fourth quarter and give up 50 points. Like, what are we talking about here? Now, I'm not going to absolve the referees because them mogs was calling everything in that game on the Chicago Bulls. I think the Chicago Bulls were Atlanta had 30 some free throws and the Bulls had like what 5 or 6. So when you have a situation like that, but they were in the penalty just like last night. They're not disciplined defensively, and that's the Achilles heel of the Chicago Bulls. If they had just a modicum of defense, just a little bit of defense, they would be a much better basketball team. But because they don't play defense and their goal is to go out and outscore people, it's going to lead to nights like what they had to deal with Atlanta the other day. It's going to lead to nights where you give up the most points in a quarter that you've given up since 1986. But how are we feeling about the Chicago Bulls tonight? They got to take on the Charlotte Hornets. Think I think Melo is back, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think Melo been back a minute now.
Yeah, but he could not be though. Like it's like almost every other night. You don't know if he's gonna play, if
Yeah,
he's not.
game time decision with a wrist injury though.
See, there you go. So, but are we on the road tonight, Steve?
We are.
So they got a chance. The Bulls play much better on the road than they do at the crib. So how we feeling
And
about to
we got. I mean, it's gonna be a very like a dog. You gonna deep dog. Both teams are the deep down. They both brittle with injuries. As you know, the Gritty Giddy is a game time decision with his ankle today. The Sumo's a game time decision, but I think he gonna miss it. Zach is a game time decision with a toe, and Smith is a game time decision as well as Trey Mann on their side is out until January 3rd. Game time decision with Martin with a knee injury. Brandon Miller also a game time decision with an ankle injury, and we already know Williams is out with ACL.
so P. Will is out?
No, Grant
Oh, okay,
Williams.
I'm about to say because he looked good the other night when he came back. P. Will looked good.
Yeah.
Giddy was great with a triple double in his return. The young guys are playing well. Julian Phillips didn't look too good the other day because he was sick. I guess he had like a stomach virus or something. He
Yeah, it's
did give
hard to
you,
play with the motherfuckers.
yeah, he gave you a few minutes. He went out there and tried. But what I want to talk about with the Chicago Bulls is these guys that have been buried on the bench coming in and giving you output now. You saw Torrey Craig hit his first 2 3-point attempts the other night. You seen what Jalen Carter's doing now that he's getting a little bit of minutes. We've seen what Matis has been doing once he gets out on the floor. The Chicago Bulls are deeper than we kind of.
You
I mean, than
realize,
yeah, that we anticipated coming into the season, and it's almost like Billy Donovan is starting to understand. I got a team that I can use. Like they were 12 deep
bro.
the other day against Milwaukee, and it worked out in the Bulls' favor. Now there are times where the rotation was just questionable because, for example, Kobe White was killing, and so was Patrick Williams, and he put him on the bench until like late in the second quarter. In favor of like putting THT in, like there are times where you just don't have to put him in. Put Kobe White back in; he's feeling himself.
You know what I realized? Billy Donovan is the Kim Mulkey of NBA coaches. Why I say that? Because they always figure out some shit 7 years too late. And I literally mean 7 years too late. He been a Bulls coach, what, 5 years, correct?
Hmm.
Reason I say Kim Mulkey is because I don't know if y'all know she's the current LSU coach, women's basketball coach for LSU. And last year, y'all know the whole thing. They was coming off a championship and they could repeat. But we all knew they didn't have a point guard, but yet they were still trying to throw it down low to Angel all day. And that's the reason why they lost the championship, because they didn't realize they had a sophomore in Michaela and they had Fly Jada who can take the other responsibilities off of their main star. Billy didn't realize for 5 years that he had multiple people on his bench that could give you some actual production if you gave them some minutes. He was notorious for playing the most he will play at a time is maybe 10 players, but majority is 9 or 8. Same with Kim Mulkey. You see against the Bucks. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven bench players played yesterday. I mean, last game. Quality minutes as well, and we won the game. Use what you got. It's that simple. It's not surprising because we already know Billy gets his rotations he get comfortable with, and that's what he runs out. He has his certain set of rotations that he's comfortable with, and that's all he gonna throw out. He ain't gonna try nothing new. Now we see him try something new, and it's given. And when times where we can't score, or we need a vibe switch or a defensive pickup, some of these players like a Julius, a Taylor, Torrey Craig can come in, give you that D, uh, no homo, knock out the three, knock down the three, make the open pass if necessary when you need to. It's all about using them. And yeah, he's starting to realize it. And I guess because we're so young, it kind of puts you in a mindset. Well, hell, I might as well use everybody else. But at the end of the day, in short words, Billy just late as hell when it comes to everything. You.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he just Billy has an idea of what he wants to do, and he's gonna stick to that idea. It don't matter. Like, it don't matter if everything shows a difference. He's gonna be like, "Well, I planned it this way. I don't know how to fix it other than this way."
Right.
And one of the big telling points is when he put out 5 guards last game with Brook Lopez on the floor.
Hmm.
That don't make any sense whatsoever. Your tallest player is 6'10", and Brook Lopez is 7'3", and you think that this team that can't play zone doesn't know how to cover defense. They just gonna
And the
make it work.
whole, yeah, the whole is just cookies.
It's one of those things where you watch him play and it really hurts you sometimes because you watch it and Bill. I'm not gonna say Billy's a terrible coach,
He ain't. He
but
just
there's some
stupid.
mistakes that Billy makes that, like, as a person who watches basketball, I'm like, that's a normal thing that a fan would know not to do, and you somehow figured out a way to do it.
Yeah,
And it's frustrating.
yeah.
Like,
He not a
I mean,
dumb coach. He just stupid. He just
yeah,
do stupid things at the wrong time.
he like that bad old uncle who just stuck in his ways.
Yeah.
Like the
Hey,
world changing, he like,
come here.
no, but this is how
Come
we
here.
do it.
Come here, nephew. I got this drink for you.
Come here, nephew. I got this flip phone.
Not a
But
flip
yeah,
phone.
man, it's it's frustrating to watch and captivating all at the same time. And at the very least, at least we get to see the Chicago Bulls win some basketball games at a higher clip than was expected coming into the season. But yeah, so you guys already know what to do. Head on over to Chicago Bulls Central. Check out Hayes, who's holding it down over there for all updates and analysis for the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Cubs made a trade yesterday. They traded Matt Mervis to the Miami Marlins, and he was projected to be a part of their future. He was a former top 100 prospect, but the Chicago Cubs have their first baseman in Michael Bush, and they're kind of looking. They got Matt Shaw coming up to play third base, and they're just trying to get more prospects into their pipeline. As they go forward with the season, but the Chicago Cubs are looking solid. They're looking solid going into the season. We'll see how it looks once the season finally starts, once spring training finally starts. But if you guys want to hear anything else about the Chicago Cubs, head on over to Chicago Cubs Central, where my boy Mike is holding it down over there, and I pop in and out. And then Chicago White Sox, no news on that front. Like they just ain't really doing nothing. It's just it is what it is. We're just trying to see if they're gonna do anything next season. But head over to Chicago White Sox Central for updates and analysis. And the Blackhawks got killed yesterday, 5-1. Um, and Connor Bedard is doing this thing, but it is what it is. When you only got one quality, really couple of quality players, I'm not gonna just poo-poo all over the entire roster. But Chicago Blackhawks have a long way to go. Heading on to Chicago Blackhawks Central for updates over there. And then Chicago Sky has a little bit of news about Jeff Teague talking about not just the WNBA, but Angel Reese in particular. And it ruffles some feathers. It is what it is. Um,
Yeah, there's two ways you can look at it. I mean, the criticism on her game, you really can't be too upset about because she a rookie. She got a lot of things to work on. But I do feel like I think the problem that I do agree with everything, and it has a lot to do with just the person Jeff Teague is. Like I ain't I'm not the biggest fan of his of his podcast per se because not only do I want to hear stories, but I actually want to hear actual basketball IQ, and that's why I feel like the show just lacks. It's like, yeah, y'all play, but I could tell like y'all not the smartest basketball players in the world. Like I could just tell by how y'all talk. So for them to have somebody like Charleston White on to talk about the WNBA is just like, why would y'all do that?
yeah, like
Like that's
that's
just stupid.
silly.
Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you did that for clout. You brought him on strictly for clout. And I understand what Charleston White's whole moniker is and why he does it, but at the end of the day, it's just destructive at the end of the day, no matter if he's trying to be a positive reason or not. It's just not a good idea. It's not the right thing to say. And for him to say, yeah, I'm with Shaq, dunk with some panties on. I want to see your OnlyFans WNBA. Like, y'all already knew what was coming with that. Now, with the people that's tripping talking about, oh, Asia can't beat, most of these women can't beat actual professional athletes. Joe Smoes, yes, but actual people that's in the G League, like these dude, like people said, G League players, NBA, they're the best player in their state, their county. So like they're actually real good in what you realize. A lot of these players are just fitting into a role because they're not the best of the best in the world.
I
But
mean, because like Pat Bev averaged like 30 in
40 in college. I
in
mean
high
high
school.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like we see players like Kevin Ollie and or White Mamba, and players that's buried on the bench that's not getting no tick in the NBA, and expect them to and think that they're not good basketball players
Exactly.
when not only will they defeat um a lot of players that are in college, a lot of players that are in high school, a lot of players that play overseas, so on and so forth. But of course, in one-on-one matchups, your average G League player could defeat some of the best WNBA players. It's just about physicality.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound sexist at all, and if you take it that way, then so be it. But it's just about physicality.
It's just the fact that if what do Badcock out of UNC, y'all remember the center Badcock? He's in
Mhm.
the G League right now. He's 6'10", 250. If
Right.
he just puts you on the block, there's nothing you can do.
Right, and because Angel's a big person in the WNBA at 6'4", right?
That's a guard in NBA standard.
Exactly. So like you can't have her in the position that she plays guarding the same position from the male. I mean, she can do it. I'm not saying that she's gonna not score or like I can't go
But the
that
diff
far.
but I said right, but on the same token, them guard she's gonna have to go up against way more athletic,
Hmm.
quicker, and she is different. It's just different when it comes to that. And like I
Now
said,
I do
there's
believe I don't agree with the take that like, oh, Caitlin Clark wouldn't score a basket and so like stuff like that.
she could score on Bronny. I don't
Yeah,
that whole take like he ain't scoring she's scoring on Bronny.
yeah.
I don't
I
give a
don't
fuck what you talking about.
now can Bronny beat her? Probably.
Probably.
But I don't think that they're not gonna score because I've played against very talented young ladies, in YMCA's and LA Fitnesses and so on and so forth. They can score, and and here's the thing that we got to take from all of this: 5-on-5 basketball is different than
Different.
1-on-1.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like when you playing a team game, you can set screens, you can move without the ball, you can get open, you can hit corner threes, things like that. That's different than I'm about to play you 1-on-1 to 12, but ones and twos. Physicality matters. And trying to drive to the basket on somebody who's just that much stronger than you, and that matters to just us in general. Like if I'm playing against another dude who's bigger, faster, and stronger than me, guess what? He's going to win. Like
I gotta be smarter. I give you more skillful.
exactly. And
Mhm.
even if I'm smarter and more skillful, I'm still taking the L because
Yeah.
if they decide to just tee up and use all of those all those gifts, all those physical attributes to the best of their abilities, they're going to win. That's just the reality of it. Now sometimes you got people like who is it, Anderson, slow mo they call him in the NBA.
Kyle Anderson here.
Kyle, like some people can overcome those things just in general. Like okay, IQ really matters here, but for the most part,
But it helped that he's 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So to get upset with Jeff Teague in terms of him analyzing Angel Reese's game, saying the things that she needs to do better, I think that's where the disconnect is for me. Like all of the
Yeah.
the expletives and calling people B words and saying you want to see them on OnlyFans stuff, that's stupid. But as far as saying she needs to work on her game, that's what she came to the WNBA for,
He
to
ain't
work on
lying.
it. Right. Like
Yep.
she's in the WNBA to get better. Like nobody
And
she can't be just LSU Barbie. She got to become WNBA Barbie. But go ahead, Q.
yeah, and honestly, I think the big issue here is people like Jeff Teague. When these things happen, people talk about Angel needs to work on her game. That's a valid statement. But they always want to follow it up with some stupid statement,
Exactly.
like the Shaq statement. And now everyone who ever uses the she needs to work on her game statement has to now try to fight like they agree
Exactly.
with the other statement that they don't agree with. Right? So if you were to go to Angel and say, I think you need to work on your game a little bit, she probably would say, yes, I do. I
I
am.
agree.
I'm doing it right now. I'm putting videos out about me trying to shoot right now. Right? But then if you follow it with the, yeah, playing panties, now
You're
no
doing
one
too
wants to
much.
listen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
That's stupid.
It's like one of the big things I talk about is it's like when you say black people commit most crimes. They do because of their history. But when you follow with black people create most crimes because they're just animals. Now I look stupid because I agree with you with the first point. And you just made everything else hard. Right? So
Hmm.
you got to watch what you say after you say these things because the people who say it usually are idiots. Most people don't have to say it because they understand it and it's a
Or
general
ain't nothing to talk about.
right. We all know she needs to work on the game. Everybody does. It's like we don't have to talk about that.
Hmm.
The second issue is when you look at the WNBA, people don't look at it in the right lens.
Yep.
Angel Reese is 6'3".
That's a
What
four.
6'3" player do you think is going to beat Brooke Lopez in a one-on-one game?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about 6'3" in general.
I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about
Like,
right.
Like
height matters.
Steph Curry versus Brooke Lopez would be go differently than a lot of people would think. Now,
Yep.
if Steph get the ball first and he start off hot and he hit all his threes, that's
Then
something.
yeah, but if he miss,
Yeah, all Brooke got to do is just back him down.
ain't
There was
nothing he could
Right.
do.
there was a somebody was saying that Kobe never John Sally was saying that Kobe never beat him in a 1-on-1. And that's I can that tracks to me.
John Sally was 6'9",
He was taller than that and bigger. So
way
like a
bigger.
young 21, 20-year-old Kobe, I'm sure he was salty. I'm sure he was mad as hell, but it's just certain things you can't do because of physicality. So comparing these WNBA players to NBA players is silly. Even to G League players is silly because there's just a world of difference between 1-on-1 and 5-on-5. Now, if we're talking 5-on-5, then yes, Maya Moore and Asia Wilson and all of them can definitely score and run up and down the court and put the ball in the basket, set some screens, get open, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we're talking about 1-on-1. And it's just unfortunate, but it's true. Like, I can't be mad at Jeff Teague for that take. It'll be difficult for
And
any
the only
WNBA
person,
player.
But you
I was
can
saying,
know, because his where he's coming from with the take is a
wrong.
different mindset than
It's
where we're
wrong.
coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, he's been
Like,
an
that's the issue
asshole.
here.
He's
Like,
definitely been an
It-
asshole.
he just
because
he just saying that he not saying the actual
well,
reason
it's
why
the
they can't
background
do
of why he believes it,
it.
though.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because if we put BG up against Javon Carter, she's beating him
Mhm.
Yeah.
because she's taller and
Mhm.
weighs more. Like, that's the issue. Is most women in the WNBA are not tall enough or heavy enough to play against most male players.
Mhm.
That's the
Yeah.
separation.
And what
I
he could have
guarantee you,
did,
Jeff Teague believes I'm a man, so I can
Mhm.
beat them.
Right.
and he could have helped this argument, or people could have, because they could bring up the whole Cappy Pondexter when she was playing 1-on-1 against I think it's Ray Frost, not Ray Frosty. The dude
Yeah.
from New York. He's from New York. That's all I remember. But no, Sebastian Telfair. That's who he was
Mhm.
going against. Sebastian Telfair.
It wasn't
But
1-on-1, but it was in a
but it was
5-on-5
a
game,
five
and they
on
kept going
five.
back and forth
But they
with
was
each
going
other.
backwards and forth. But at the same time,
She was getting buckets.
Sebastian wasn't trying to
Mhm.
play defense at the same time. But when he was playing semi defense, she got off.
Mhm.
So it's to say that they're not doing anything against men is just a lie. To say, oh, they just ain't going, they just want domination. Now you just lying, because there's plenty of women I've seen go up against male and get them buckets.
Yep. That's it. But I'm this all this does is make me excited for Angel Reese. I can't wait for this 3-on-3 tournament. Is it a
Well, it's still
tournament, or
a month away.
is it a season, or is it a tournament? Is it more like the big
I
three?
think it's like both. It's like a big. It's like I think they have like a tournament to go down to who wins the whole thing, but it's a season. It's like a little off season thing though.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I can't wait for Angel Reese to shut up the doubters and the haters, because she had them all last season. There are
Shut them
still
up real
idiots. There are still idiots saying that if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, no one would know who Angel Reese is. When that's just silly. That's the dumbest take that
He
I've
had
heard.
1.2 million followers before that wave of the hand even happened.
Yeah, so like she was already a champion, or she was on her way to becoming a champion.
Yeah, she was on the way.
So I can't stand people like that are just assuming that Angel Reese is not going to get better. So I can't wait for her to get better. And it's going to be a fun season for the WNBA again, as they got more games, more teams, and more exposure. So, all right, y'all already know what it is. Hit up Chicago Sky Central if you want to hear anything else about the Chicago Sky with Steve Owen Hayes holding it down over there. And the rest of the Chicago Sky family, Chicago Chi-Town sports family, just go ahead and type in your favorite Chicago team and type the word Central in behind it, and you'll find your favorite team channel on YouTube. Y'all got anything else to say to the game?
Right.
Don't
We need
forget.
to put just a big ass pray sign on at the end of the show.
Don't forget to pray, man. We should see you
Sponsored by
guys.
God.
Amen. We should see you guys tomorrow on New Year's Eve. We'll discuss. I think we'll do something different tomorrow and talk about what we expect from Chicago sports in 2025 because 2024 was rough. All right, y'all. We're gonna holler at you guys next time. Peace.